Good afternoon or evening, students. I hope you are well. I wanted to do this informal video or formal video regarding the class, the Screencast-O-Matic, to just check in with you, to let you know and to make sure that you are aware that there is an instructor behind all of these words, these videos, these assignments, and I believe most of you are aware of that, primarily based upon my emoji and my picture that's up in the corner of Canvas. I say all that to say that as we begin this course, I wanted to ensure, and I think one of the early discussion boards that I talked about with students was to ensure that students were aware of, just the purpose for why they're taking this course, right? And so we were asked, or you students were asked, to discuss that in your discussion board and to identify what some of the things key takeaways that you wanted to get out of this course. So with that being said, there are some of you that are diligently and committedly going after your goal of what you wanted to achieve. However, some of you are not. And so with that in mind, as a professor of entrepreneurship, my goal in this course is not necessarily to be a very, very hard grader, but moreover to provide you with the opportunity to grow your awareness, your understanding, and your knowledge of the entrepreneurial mindset and the entrepreneurial purpose in our world, right? Coupled with the way in which innovation is connected to an entrepreneur's endeavor. So under this context, and I think I've made a video before, it's been very challenging in some respects to really know whether or not some of my students that are taking this course are taking the course for the grade, or if they're taking the course for learning. And so keep in mind, and I say this with humility and respect to everyone in the course, some of you may have had challenges in terms of like accessing Canvas. Some of you may not have purchased the book, right? But I know that everyone that has taken this course realize that we are an educational institution. That is, we being Victor Valley College, right? And so our accreditation peer group, or shall I say the ACCJC, that's the Association of Community College, evaluators, will come in at different times and take a look at what our students are doing by virtue of the amount of grades that are being compiled, the number of assignments that are being completed, and in particular the regular and substantive interaction piece, right, that you students have been involved in terms of reading my announcements on a weekly basis, and then in some cases doing the discussion boards. So as we move forward, keep in mind that I cannot pass you in this course if you do nothing. And I say that again with all due respect to those of you that are diligently working, right? And so those of you that have not, and even if you watch this video, some of you will, some of you will, some will watch it, some will not. This is the defining moment now that I wanted to, we're in the midway of the class, to really stress how important it is to complete assignments, right? Because I cannot pass a student that does nothing, right? Because then the accreditation peer group comes in, they review my grade book that I'm going to show you in a moment, and they see that students didn't turn in any work, but then at the end, in WebAdvisor, the students have passed the course. Well, then that's grounds for us losing apportionment. That is the amount of money that the government pays us for students to go to our campus and to learn in our institution. And more importantly, could drastically put my job as a professor of economics, accounting, and entrepreneurship of 28 years, that could be in jeopardy. And that's not going to happen, right? I mean, like, you know. So in weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8, it's going to be paramount that any small discussions, and you'll notice that I haven't given you much work, but I've given you some stuff to really incentivize you to think about this journey that you're involved in, this certificate that a lot of you are pursuing, this certificate of achievement. So it's going to be paramount, right, that if you have not been able to turn in any work, that you change that you flip that, like from the non to the, well, shall I say, from the amount that you haven't been able to do to now the amount that you will do. And once again, it's just a matter of participation. That's really what I'm looking for, right? Because as I mentioned earlier, and I'll close with this, your entrepreneurship journey is yours. And so what you learn, what you can remember, and more importantly, what you can apply as a business owner is of critical importance to you. Not to Victor Valley College, but to you, right? And I also think that any class that you take at this college gives you the ability to develop your intellectual being, gives you the ability to develop your intellectual capital. That's arguably deployable in the real world, usable in the real world, leverageable in the real world, even in your homes. So we've covered thus far the innovation imperative, social innovation, innovation, globalization, and development, and sustainability-led innovation is on tap for this week. So many of you students, as I mentioned earlier, and I say this with concern and humility, and moreover just support, because I realize that some of my students need more support in this effort, and hopefully this video will provide something to that degree. So looking at what we've done thus far, there's still a number of items that I need to grade, and I was a little bit cantankerous with the number of students that didn't do quiz 1 submission, and I realized that we had some issues there. And so in this second week, you'll notice here that I've allowed for a doc, and I had a young man that emailed me about an hour ago indicating that he wanted to turn in the chapter 3, but this item was due by November the 14th. This item was due, or by this evening, actually. So he should have the opportunity to do that. Okay, so keep in mind, this link here now will accept documents of in the .docx format, right? And I'll make sure of that. Let me go here and just let's go into this and just make sure that the extension for the file that you students will be turning in is correct. So I'm gonna do .docx maybe that'll be, no, I'm gonna leave it that way. I'm just gonna leave it just like that, and then okay. And so no, we do not use Google Docs in this course. Okay. And so the last thing that I wanted to show you was the grades, as I mentioned. I'm going to take this out of here and move the names so that you can't see the names. Oops. So you'll notice as you look down this kiosk, actually we have quite a few students have actually done the discussion boards for chapter 2 and the assignments. And then there's some students that haven't finished chapter 3 yet, right? I guess my biggest concern might have been, heck, I guess it might have been miscast. Maybe most of my students, as I review here, have been doing some qualitative work. 92, 85, 54, 0, 100, 0, 0. Ooh, 116, 0, 100%. Let's see. I'm not sure how that 100%. Yeah, I can see that. 18%, 0, 9%, 0, 0, 94, 110, 92, 0, 63, 60, 36, 36, 0, 7, 0%. So, as my grandmother always says, if the shoe does not fit, do not wear it. If you, and I say that in this regard, if you have been doing your work, it's going to be clear and present once I get caught up on the grading this week, right? And so this video that you've watched would be just a reminder that you're doing well. And so if there are maybe a handful of students that have not done their work, hopefully it will incentivize them to do that. I mean, again, the A, the B, or the C, and or the otherwise, is primarily based upon your participation. And it's truly evident here that there are quite a few of you that are doing some work. We had an entrepreneurship event last week. 2 people took part in that Zoom. We may have another one in the next couple of weeks, so please watch out for that. Though that endeavor was extra credit. I didn't want to coin it as extra credit because I wanted to see which students were, intimately involved in their learning and would take the time to actually go to this entrepreneurial event. Now, it's not counted against you if you did not do it. Okay? So in that regard, stay the course. Again, we are in week 4. If you have any questions, remember you can always email me, as many students have. And then, again, my office hours on Mondays from 12:30 to 4:30 in the Academic Commons, room I. If you need to see me at that time, just email me, give me a heads up that you will be coming by. I sometimes have other things I'm doing. But with that in mind, again, stick, stand, and stay. And I do appreciate your time.